In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for any older Jeffersons from before 1960, including war nickels, as well as buffaloes or anything older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, rares or varieties, or any other cool things we can find. Let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll number 1, and I just uncovered a 1950 nickel. 1950 Philly is a semi-key date, and a 1950 D is a key date. Let's hope it has a mint mark. And it doesn't, but still, 1950 Philly, barely find any of those, and that's a great find. Roll number 2, and we're going to have more finds. This might turn out to be a good box, because I just uncovered a 1939. Hopefully it has a mint mark. It doesn't. I'll check for the DDR, but first glance doesn't look like it is. And then I looked back in the roll, and this nickel has an S mint mark, which means it's going to be from 1954, earlier out of San Francisco. And it's a 1940S. Two pretty older Jeffersons in roll number 2. Roll number 7 had a couple more older Jeffersons. Had a 1941 out of Philly and 1955 out of Denver. Roll 11, and we have another 40s nickel, and this one is a 1946 minted in Philly. Roll number 14, and I think we're going to have a silver because I just opened the roll, and I see this dark edge right here. And it is 1944 San Francisco, silver number 1 of the box. That's an awesome find. Roll 17, and we have another older Jefferson, and it's a pretty beat up 1941 out of Denver. Next roll, we have another nickel from the 50s, and it is a 1958 out of Denver. Roll number 23, and we have a nickel from the 40s and the 50s. 40s is a 1947 out of Philly, and the 50s is a 1954 minted in Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and we have a couple more older Jeffersons. This one is a 1941 out of Philly, and this one is a 1959 Denver. Roll number 27, and we actually have the second 30s nickel of the box. Just like the other one, it's a common 1939 out of Philly, and this one isn't the DDR either, but still a good find. Roll number 31 had a couple more finds. First is an older Jefferson, a 1948 out of Philly, and the next one is a 1975 with a counterstamped S on it. Roll number 36, and we have another nickel from the 50s, and it is a 1954 from Denver. Roll number 39, and we're going to have the first 4 on the box, and it looks like it's probably going to be a Canadian nickel. And it is a 1982. Roll number 41, and I already pulled out this 1954S, and I just uncovered a 1938, and it looks like it's in really good shape. Let's hope it has a mint mark for it to be a key date. And it is 1938D. In pretty good shape. It has a little damage to the left of the E and a little gunk on the front, but I can clean that off, and that's an amazing find. Wow. Roll 42, and I just pulled out another semi-key date. A 1949 out of San Francisco. We already have a key date, a silver, and 2 semi-key dates. This has been a really good box. Roll 44, and we have another 1946 out of Philly. Roll number 46, and we have a 1941 Philadelphia. Roll 49, and we have a 1959 out of Denver. Roll 50 produced one last find, and it is just another 1941 out of Philly. Now it's on to the wrap-up. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. I had 14 estimates. Did get a 2009 out of Denver and a 1982 Canadian nickel. Miscellaneous find was a 1975 with an S counter stamped on it for some reason. Did get a pretty good amount of older Jeffersons, including 2 semi-key dates, a 1950 out of Philly and a 1949 S. And we did get 2 39s, none of which were in the DDR. Finds of the box were that 1938D key date in beautiful condition. A couple damage marks on the reverse, but it does have some steps, so overall this is in fantastic shape, and I did get that black stuff off the front pretty easily. And we did get that 1944S silver war nickel. Overall, this was a great nickel box.